Hello, everyone, and welcome to Celebrating Earth Day 2022 presented by the HBCU Green Fund. My name is Jared Sawyer Jr., and I am proud to be today's host of this virtual event. We have put together an amazing program for you today. The theme for Earth Day this year is Let the Earth Breathe. It's more than a day. It's a movement. So we're going to spend today celebrating the planet's clean natural resources and raising awareness about global climate change by showing you some of the amazing work that the HBCU Green Fund has just been doing this year alone. You're going to hear from our fellows. You're going to hear from our partners. Destin Sempijja will be joining us shortly to share with us all of the work that he's been doing in Uganda. And on top of that, we've got a huge announcement at the end, so make sure that you stay tuned through this entire virtual event. Let's celebrate the Earth together. To get us started is our fearless leader, the co-founder of the HBCU Green Fund, Miss Felicia Davis.
Hello, Felicia Davis reporting on my Earth Day 22 activities. So I'm starting the day just recapping April because it's always such a Earth-filled month for me, and this April is no exception. I was really excited to kick off the month with the Just Transition Power Force partnership with Microsoft and launching the Zero Waste West Side pilot, which I'm excited. It's a circular waste initiative that brings together Truly Living Well, Urban Farm, Gooder, and also Green is Life, new startup doing outreach for West Atlanta, focused on all things green. Also, we had our second annual BIPOC Climate Justice Dialogue, where there was a keen focus on Justice 40 with presentations from the WEJAC, especially co-chair Peggy Shepard, second-time host Mustafa Ali, who did a fantastic job again and had a great conversation with Gina McCarthy as well as with the WEJAC representatives. We had words from Shalonda Baker, always a highlight, and the overall event was just a great success. Also, there was the Donors of Color retreat in Albuquerque. Absolutely fantastic. Highlights were certainly, definitely Angela Davis, a conversation with Shindy Maxton and Nicole Hannah Brown that made me dive back into 1619 and, of course, read the children's book again, Born on the Water. Absolutely love the story. Anytime you get to read to kids, that's a good one to pick. Fast forward, moving along, we come to Atlanta, where we have our Energy Fellows, our AUC 10 Energy Fellows, who have been really active this month, focused primarily on solar. Conversation with Gilbert Campbell, Howard University grad, now founder and CEO of Volt Energy Utility, which was really wonderful. Other conversations that were just fantastic and still ongoing. Really great news. We are launching today our effort to organize and serve as the steering committee for the Africa Pre-COP27 virtual conference that will take place September I think 19th through 23rd, with representation already from some 20 African countries. I have to look at the list to even name them, but we've got Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Namibia, Angola, Senegal, Liberia. We've got Ghana, Ivory Coast, Togo, Gambia, Mauritania, Guinea, and Guinea-Bissau, all already represented, and several others that I am skipping. So really excited to have youthful climate leadership that will really bring forth what's happening on the ground in Africa in advance of COP27, which this year will be in Egypt, and we hope very much focused on equity, which is a great thing. Really excited. I know that Peggy Shepard with WEAC and others are planning to have a climate justice pavilion, which will be great. I skipped this month. A big, tremendous highlight was the HBCU Climate Conference that was held in New Orleans. Bob Bullard, Dr. Bob Bullard, Dr. Beverly Wright. Amazing, amazing event. Student presentations were just over the top, absolutely excellent. Calvin Mackey, phenomenal. So many great presentations. I can't say enough good things about the HBCU Climate Conference. It was the 8th annual conference, and Beverly and Bob will certainly take students to COP in Egypt. That will be a special highlight. I'm planning a BIPOC COP delegation that will also go to Egypt so that we have a really diverse presence and representation at the climate conference. We have emerging offices in East and West Africa. We today have a wonderful, wonderful talk from Destin Sempijja from Uganda, and he will bring forth energy conversation, solar energy, and all things climate justice related from Uganda this afternoon. We also have the relaunch of our Eco Cyber Center in West Africa and Senegal. So it's just a tremendous, tremendous April for us. We're looking forward to really great things. Hoping everyone will follow HBCU Green Fund, support if you can in any way that you can. Thank you and much love.
Thank you so much, Ms. Felicia Davis, for that amazing introduction, for your leadership within this organization, and your advocacy as an environmental justice advocate and activist for well over 20 years. In partnership with the Russell Innovation Center for Entrepreneurs, also known as RICE, and by way of a generous grant provided by the U.S. Department of Energy, we launched the AUC Energy Project. It's a fellowship program that has been exposing students in the Atlanta University Center, which is Morehouse College, Clark Atlanta University, and Spelman College, from various majors to emerging opportunities in renewable energy and sustainability. The intention is to increase their capacity to rein, mentor, and identify internships in energy and STEM industries for students. Check out a preview of the program and hear from some of the students yourself.
I'm the founder and director of the HBCU Green Fund. Most exciting is the fact that we've engaged a number of phenomenal HBCU graduates who are now clean energy sector entrepreneurs. We're working with Gemini Energy Solutions, who is training all of our fellows to actually be data collectors for energy efficiency audits, which is fundamental to moving forward with clean energy, particularly in the Black community.
We just trained the students on how to use the equipment for the energy audit. They now know where to place the sensors, what to use the thermal gun for, and really how to use the whole Gemini platform so that they can produce energy audits for their campuses and their community.
This was a great way for me to get introduced into the fields and learn how to make a difference early on.
One of the things that really made me want to be a part of this fellowship is to mend the gap between people of color and them getting left behind.
One thing I'm very fascinated about is fixing the climate crisis that we're currently enduring. I think it's important that we all play our part, and that's why I'm excited for this training.
The students got to do a hands-on experience of collecting data throughout Sisters Chapel at Spelman College. Beautiful location, really excited for the students and how they've been able to understand the different equipment and apply it. The final energy audit practice training, the students led me through an energy audit data collection process. We're really excited about how they were able to retain the information, how they were able to take the sensors, use it, and place them in the correct location. And we're encouraged that in the future they'll be able to train others in the data collection as well.
We're really excited about this program and especially excited to be working in partnership with the Russell Center, the Atlanta University institutions, Clark Atlanta, Spelman, and Morehouse College, and our phenomenal 10 inaugural AUC Energy Fellows.
Amazing. I am at awe to see all of the investment being made into the next generation. At this time, I want to introduce Mr. Destin Sempijja. Destin is the founder of Cherish Aid Foundation and is also the national coordinator of Climate Live in Uganda. He is a telecom engineer, a specialist in renewable energy, but he's also a youth leader who's mentored over 1,200 young people into the climate movement, both in Uganda and outside of Uganda. And today he's going to be talking with us about the transition into renewable energy in Uganda. So ladies and gentlemen, help me at this time welcome Mr. Destin Sempijja.
My name is Destin Sempijja. I'm an environmentalist and a climate justice activist from Uganda. I'm a youth leader who has mentored over 2,000 young people in Africa, in Uganda and outside Uganda. I'm also a telecom engineer and a specialist in renewable energy, and the recent project that I've been working on for over 4 years that has been installation of solar panels on telecom sites, both on-grid and off-grid. I'm also the founder of Cherish Aid Foundation. Cherish Aid Foundation is a youth-led non-profit organization that is basically focusing on green innovation projects with a major emphasis on environmental restoration, environmental protection, and also conservation. Through developing strategies and solutions that engage young people into addressing the most complex subject apparently, that is climate change, which has global impacts on poverty, global impacts, that is having global issues like poverty, economic growth, and sustainable development. I'm also the national coordinator of Climate Live in Uganda. Climate Live is an initiative that was started by young people in UK and it's spread all over the world like Fridays for Future. And in this initiative, we use entertainment platforms, for example, music, dance, drama, comedy, and stage platforms to engage big artists to perform, and so that we can engage a new audience into the climate movement. Under Cherish Aid Foundation, we have managed to do a lot of projects. We have worked on a number of projects, and these projects have been basically to see that we can protect our environment and the climate in particular. We have a project called the Recycling Mindset. In this project, we have been recycling plastic bottles into building products, for example, pavers, and we're planning to even start on developing tiles for building and construction through this initiative. So the project is still ongoing on a low scale due to funds, but we need a lot of people to work with us. You can volunteer with us. We are welcoming everyone. Another project is the fruit tree planting project. In this project, we have been aiming at planting trees in communities, schools, and different parts of the world, different parts of Uganda, so that we can fight the CO2 emissions, since a tree is the best and the easiest mean of solving the climate crisis, since it absorbs a lot of carbon emissions. And as it's known that in countries like mine, we emit less, but we suffer almost all the consequences of the climate crisis. Another project that we work on, that we have been working on, but it's on pending right now, it was facilitation of clean water sources. In Uganda, most communities, most of the people have never seen clean, pure water in their lives. And in such a way, you can find that in some communities in the north and northeastern regions of Uganda, some people still consume the same water that is consumed by animals, the same dirty water. So in such communities, people have never seen or heard about the experience of being in a place where there is clean water. So we tried by facilitating pipes which can purify and sieve some clean water for them, so that it can be separated from the ones that is consumed by animals. Another project that I started last year was the biogas as a clean energy project. In this project, I wanted to use waste from animals, and I was focusing basically on farmers who are emphasizing cattle farming and poultry farming, whereby the waste that it comes from animals can provide energy that saves the environment. So I wanted to work on this project, but since the project also needs funding, I have not done a lot on this project, but I'm welcoming everyone who is willing to stand with us on this project. Then the major project that we have put all our focus on is the Environmental Education for Sustainability project. In this project, we have been able to take climate literacy to schools and communities while engaging them in understanding why they have to be environmental stewards. In this project, we are instilling a habit of planting trees, not littering plastic bottles, and also training people in communities how to recycle and protect the environment. That is what we have in common. Since most of the projects have not had funds, we have been majorly focusing on environmental education because it needs less efforts and also incurring less expenses. For example, we just needed transport and hiring a van, then we go to a school and we carry out the project of environmental education for sustainability. In this project, we got some partners, and these were climate science based in UK. Climate science helped us in giving us some materials, for example, PDF notes, which we can use in our research to add up with content that we are going to use when we are carrying out outreaches in schools and communities. As an environmentalist and a climate justice active advocate, in 2017 I traveled to Ecuador in South America, where I volunteered with an organization that is called Enfical Fundación, that is based in Ecuador, on basically on creating awareness on climate emergency and elaborating the climate crisis in the Global South and Uganda in particular. In 2018, I attended the Solar Power Summit in Istanbul, Turkey, that was held, and I attended as a listener, and it was really helpful to add on my skills in the solar power installation and also my experience in renewable energy specialism. Until 2021 last year in October, I traveled to, it was November, I traveled to the UK in Scotland to attend the COP26 UNFCCC conference on climate action that was in Glasgow, and was among the strikers on the global strike that happened on the 5th of November 2021. I was among the strikers with Greta Thunberg. On 6th November, we had the Climate Live event in London, and I was blessed to be part of the speakers, and the event took place in different cities in London and different towns in London, and I was part of the speaker. We had a bus with some entertainment, and yeah, that is part of my advocacy. We were at London Eye and Camden representing, speaking to the people about the catastrophes that are caused by environment and why they have to become environmental stewards, and why it's even their responsibility to be part of the advocates for climate justice. And this year I'm hoping to attend the World Conference on Climate Change and Sustainability that will be held in Frankfurt, Germany, as a speaker, and I'll be presenting the assessment of climate crisis and its implications on agriculture and the lives of the people in the northern and northeastern regions of Uganda. As a climate justice activist, I believe in creating awareness about the environmental responsibility amongst young people, since I have realized that in countries like mine, where governments do not want to emphasize environmental education, since they earn billions of money from environmental destruction. For example, in countries like mine, Uganda, it's well known all the forests, at least most of the forests, have been sold off to foreigners to plant sugar canes, have been sold off to sugarcane investors to plant sugar canes. So when they, some of us, by the way, it's not even easy to advocate for climate justice, because imagine advocating in a country where somebody says that, where somebody is benefiting from investors who are going to destroy our forests at the expense of planting sugar canes, because at the end of the day they earn billions of money from revenue that is paid to them by sugarcane investors. As it is said that places like forests are very fertile. If a forest is destroyed and they plant in sugar canes, they believe that it's very fertile and they will get a lot of sugar canes, and at the end of the day they make sugar and they get investments. Even apparently we are still in the courts of law fighting for the verge of Bugoma Forest, which is, I think we are still in the courts of law fighting so that we can get justice, so that Bugoma Forest is not sold off to Hoima Sugar. And this process is actually, we are trying whatever we can, but again, we still have less efforts because our governments are using guns. So a mere person like me advocating for climate justice, your life is in risk. At the end of the day, you find out that it's very difficult. For example, we have projects like the East African Crude Oil Pipeline. This project is going to destroy and actually create climate refugees that we have never had before, because people were displaced from their land and they have been paid peanuts. So at the end of the day, they are pretending that they are going to liaise with the people, and at least they compensate them for their land that they are going to use to pass the crude oil pipeline. But at the end of the day, they've paid them peanuts. Most of the people are actually homeless right now because of the project that is East African Crude Oil Pipeline. So we are trying to protest about it, and I think you've heard of protest that is Stop the Eco Project. We are trying our level best to see that we are stopping this project, but at the end of the day, it's still very hard. We need everybody's voices, we need our voices to be amplified, we need everybody's efforts, so that such projects which are going to destroy our nature should never cease legality. But at the end of the day, somebody comes out, a president like mine, and says, that is my oil. So, and he promises the uneducated people, promises to give them jobs at the end of the day, at the expense of destruction of the nature. So we really have a lot to work on when it comes to environmental justice in countries like mine in the global south. As an environmentalist and an educator, on this day, the Earth Day, it really allows me to reflect and remember the significance of health of our planet, and also gives me a lot of energy to create awareness on environmental responsibility amongst young people in local communities that do not get a chance to listen to the information that it regards with environmental conservation. So therefore, on this Earth Day, we are hopefully that as we are heading to the COP27, which is going to be in Africa, we should pressurize world leaders to amend a policy that is in favor of our climate. And lastly, I want to inform you that I'm super excited to inform you that as we are heading to COP27 in Egypt, before it, we are organizing an African pre-COP27 summit that will be held virtually, and this conference is scheduled to take place on the 19th of September up to 24th of September 2022 this year. We shall be amplifying the voices of all climate justice activists and advocates all over Africa and in the diaspora. We shall be hearing from stories of how climate has impacted everyone in their countries in Africa. As it said that Africa emits less than even 3% of the global emissions, but we suffer almost all the impacts of the climate crisis. So I'm super excited to inform you that the link will be shared on the HBCU Green Fund social media platforms. Please attend the virtual meeting. We are going to have entertainment and also activist speakers speaking about the climate catastrophes in each region, how they are affected by the climate crisis, and providing solutions, and how we can pressurize world leaders as we are heading to COP27, to pressurize world leaders to see that at least empty promises should never seize legality. Thank you.
Destin, thank you so much for that amazing presentation on the impact of climate change in Uganda. I have learned a lot, and I want to commend you for all of the work that you're doing and for you just being an inspiration to both the young and the old. Surely we can all do our respective part to support. A couple of weeks ago, the HBCU Green Fund, in partnership with the BIPOC Climate Scholars Project, the U.S. ACE Coalition, and the Land Peace Foundation, hosted our second annual BIPOC Climate Justice Dialogue. This was a 2-day virtual conference that focused on progress in Justice 40 implementation. Before we go, take a peek into a playback compilation of clips from this year's event.
The programs related to climate justice that either have been deployed or are in the works, particularly as they relate to Justice 40, what are you most excited about in this new appointment that you have?
Okay, well, thank you for the question, and good morning, everybody. Again, I'm really so thrilled to be here. It's been 2 months in this new role. Mayor Adams just appointed me at the end of January. And, the idea here is to take the work that 4 city agencies, city mayoral offices used to do before, and kind of streamline and ensure that public health and environmental justice at the core of what we're doing, right? So we used to have a climate team that did sustainability and a climate team that did resiliency and environmental remediation and then environmental coordination, which is primarily land use. And what we're trying to say now is that our climate action should actually be coordinated through an environmental justice lens. And so that is the team that I'm leading, right? And it's been 2 months, so we're still ironing out all the details of what we are going to be focusing on moving forward. But I do want folks to know that I've been in city government over 15 years now, and always working at this intersection between health and environmental quality of life for New Yorkers, with a focus on historically underserved and EJ communities. And so I did want to share a couple of the climate programs that we have deployed over the last few years that do strengthen community participation, but also ultimately improve environmental quality of life. So as part of my role in city government over the last 15 years, I've developed over $160 million worth of programs that would support justice in this city, precisely because so many neighborhoods continue to be disproportionately burdened by underinvestment, right? So some of that, of course, has to be top down and citywide policies, precisely because of the significant impact, right, that our air quality has on health disparities that our EJ communities experience. So an example of that is phasing out the use of the most polluting
informative, engaging, and insightful are the words that come to my mind when I reflect on that video. What about you? You can visit our YouTube page to watch a full playback of the event. As promised, we told you we had a huge announcement, and here it is. Go ahead and save the date, September the 4th through the 10th this year, for pre-COP 27. This is going to be huge, next level huge, a 7-day virtual event that you all can be a part. It's a part of an alliance of the African continent, its regions, and the African diaspora to ensure people in Africa and globally have the knowledge, the resources, and the opportunities to effectively combat climate change. So save the date, head to the HBCU Green Fund's website, text the number that's on the screen to sign up for updates. We are excited about this event, and not just this event, but all that's in store for the rest of the year. For the HBCU Green Fund and our partners that help us to put together this event. Again, my name is Jared Sawyer Jr., and I am happy to have been your host today for celebrating Earth Day 2022. God bless you.